Grant Cardone here. Have you ever wondered how people buy this? Like my whole life, I have been just super intrigued by the wealthy, the people that buy the jet. They live the life like, I used to watch these homes on the ocean. I'm like, who owns that home? Who owns that jet? How did they do it? How did they buy it? And I created a training. I spent 35 years codifying what it takes to go from nothing, where I started. I remember when I could not afford not one night in a hotel. Not even this nice, and it changed in a second, and it can for you too. Literally, look, just take a look here. Having the girl, okay? The hot chick, great wife,
thank you.
Beautiful kids, even a cowgirl, okay?
The cat sat in my hat.
I got 2 kittens on board. We're traveling across the country. The family's gonna go out for a little vacay. I'm gonna be doing some work while I'm out there, but while I'm out there, I wanna help you get what you want. It might not be a jet, maybe it's not a yacht, I don't know, whatever it is. You deserve to have that. And I have laid out a training step by step, so simple. Regardless of where you are right now, you're in debt, you don't have any money, maybe you don't even have a job. Click the link below. I'm going to give you this training for free. I wish somebody would have done this for me. I simplify wealth. I simplify how to get money, what to do with it once you get it, and how to multiply it. The most important lesson, how do you multiply it so that someone else, maybe you were serving, someone else you were working for, that money that you receive, you learn how to multiply it so that money works harder than you do. And who knows, maybe you don't get the jet, maybe you don't get the girl, okay? Maybe you don't even want the kids. Maybe you don't want the kids or the kittens, but you get to choose, okay? Click the link below. I want to give you this free training. It's absolutely free. Best part, it's free. The second best part, it will show you step by step what you have to do to get the life you deserve.
Hey guys, welcome to the 10X Automotive Weekly. My name is Steve Spray, coming to you live right here from the studios at the 10X headquarters. Guys, today we're going to be talking about the 3 steps to build the perfect pitch on the phone. So you got to have the right script, but how do you build the script? How do you build the perfect script? And that's exactly what we're going to be going over today. So guys, thanks so much for joining. My name's Steve Spray. I'm the Director of Sales for Cardone Automotive. And if you're showing up here today, I know that you're interested in getting better and getting yourself to the next level. So thank you for showing up. And what we're going to be talking about is something that I personally have seen a massive amount of success with. And I know Grant Cardone has built his, multi-$100 million a year in sales business and empire over the phones. And so we're going to be talking about the phones, how to be successful over the phones. Every single industry in the world can do better at this, especially the automotive industry. And so what we're going to be talking about is, hey, best practices. Now, a lot of times you might be thinking about inbound calls. You might be thinking about, hey, what do we do and how do we set appointments? Because you guys run a lot of advertisements. You got people coming to you. But I can just tell you from my personal experience, what happens is, dude, if you want to grow your income, you want to grow your sales, you want to move the revenue needle, you're going to have to do this on an outbound basis. So the top salespeople that I talk to, they all do it over the phone. When I was working at the dealership and I took my sales from where they were at an average level and tripled them in less than 60 days, I did it all over the phone. Okay, the dealership wasn't spending more money on advertising. To triple your sales, the dealership would literally have to spend probably 200 grand more a month to do the type of sales that I was doing. That's just not even real. Like, how are you going to go out and spend that much money on advertising to drive that much when you have this beautiful device sitting right here that's got millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of opportunity sitting right there for you? And it just requires some activity and some action. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach you, hey, what do you actually do when you make this call? So now I've learned a lot from being on the phone. So number one, I like it because it allows me to get to where I want to go quicker. I want to help more people. I got a great product. I got a great service. We are one of the best companies in the entire world when it comes to great service. Why would I not want to get this out to more people? So I got to look at the streams that and the flows that will actually get me to more people. Well, the phone is the quickest way. I could go out and knock doors. I could wait till people call me. I could send out emails. That's great. You should probably do some of those, but look, do them all. Do them all and hammer the phones down. If you come to our office, we do over 65,000 outbound phone calls per month. So that's on a regular month. Okay, when we add more salespeople in here and we bring them in, we're packing it up. We got a lot of calls going out and we're making a lot of activity. So it's really important to be able to make a lot of outbound contacts. But look, the only reason you wouldn't do this is simply because you don't know what to do and what to say in the first place. And so that's why we're doing the 3 tips to make the perfect script today. And just for you guys joining us on Friday here, I'm actually going to give you secret number 4. If you guys hang in there, I'm going to give you a secret, one of my favorites, and one that's made me a lot of money. And we're gonna do that. So let's get right into it. Now, before we get into actually building the script, I just want you to really think about, okay, well, man, who you calling? Do you even have a list? There's things that you need to understand before you dive into a script. I mean, you could have the perfect script, but if you don't have the right strategy, it's just not going to work. So let me just cover some house rules to phone sales. Okay, this is whether you're working the service department, this is whether you're working orphan owners, this is whether you're working people that you've sold before, this is whether you're working people that hit your website. Look, number 1, you gotta get a list. If you don't have a list, you have no structure, you have nothing to work off of, so what happens is, who are you really calling? I mean, you're just, dialing aimlessly is not going to get you the type of results that you want. So what I would do is I would establish a list of at least 100 people to start with. So start with 100, and I want you to write this down if you're at home. It takes 8 to 15 attempts just to get somebody on the phone the first time. Okay, now is it every time? No, that's just the average over the list. So if you get a list of 100 people, I got people that I've seen before. They're saying, hey, you know what? I need help with phone sales. And I'm like, well, tell me what you're doing. And they're like, well, we got 2,000 leads. We called them all. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you called them all? Yeah, no, we got them. We called them. We made 2,000 phone calls. I'm like, see, you told me you called them one time? You just made one call to one person on the list the whole time. I'm like, dude, how do you just do the math on that and even look at it yourself? How did you think that was going to work? The easiest way to figure this out is to simply look at how do you do things. I get calls on my phone all day long. I don't even know who they are half the time. I just got some random numbers showing up, man. I don't even know who they are, man. It could be somebody that I do know, but they're calling from an office number and I don't have their office number saved. It could be somebody else reaching out to me from somewhere that maybe I don't know. Maybe I didn't save their number. I don't even know that they called, so I'm not in a hurry to dial back the missed calls that I had throughout the day. So what happens is, look, you gotta have the right strategy. You gotta put a list together and you gotta know that, look, it's gonna take some frequency before you can actually start getting a lot of deals from this. So make sure you get a list. I would get a list of about 100 people and know that, look, it's gonna take upwards of, 8 minimum. Like if you haven't called each name on there 8 times, then you're just not even close to where you need to be, because a lot of them, look, they don't even know who you are or that you're even reaching out. So you got to establish these things first. You could have the perfect script. You could take the script I'm going to help you build today, and if you apply it to one phone call, one time on one of anything, you're just not going to get anywhere. And so then what you're going to end up doing is blaming the script. You're like, dude, the script doesn't work. No, you're the one that doesn't work. So you got to get this down first. You got to really understand, hey, what do I need to do to be successful? Number 1, get the list. Number 2, make sure that you have about 100 people on it. You're going to make about 8 to 15 phone calls per call. Now, what I would do is I would work off these lists, because if you're making 100, 200 dials a day, what you got to think about is, look, I'm going to blow through this and probably it's going to take me about 2 weeks, and then what? I'm going to connect with some people. I'm going to set some appointments. I'm going to do some deals. I'm going to get some activity going. But what next? So you're going to need to be able to have your next set of 100 dials, right? So you should play off those. But look, make sure you got the list. You got 100 people. You're doing a minimum 8 dials on it. Now, let's get into okay, well, what do you even say when you make the phone call? So let's get into this. And I'm going to write it down up here so that way you guys can see it. So step number 1, okay, who are you calling? Who is it? What do they do? Why them? So if you're calling, like for me, I'm calling companies, dealerships, businesses. Well, look at all the different people in the business. There's an owner, there's a dealer principal, there's a general manager, there's a new car manager, there's a used car manager. Look, I could sell the same product and I could call each one of those people, all 5 of those people, and guess what? It's a different conversation with every single one of them. So I got to know, dude, who's on my list? Who are the 100 people that are on the list? This is what's going to be so important for you to really understand, okay? And I'm going to get to why this is so important. I'm going to teach you about one of the biggest parts of the call, okay? So number one, you got to find out who it is. Who are these people? If you're just aimlessly calling a list of people, you're not going to have as much success. So I would really try to narrow this down. Now, for instance, if you're working in the dealership, set this up to where you're calling, okay, well, people that we did business with 2 years ago, and they're coming up for a lease renewal. That's one list. Here's another list. People that are coming in for service over the next 60 days. Here's another list. People that have done business with us, but the salesperson that they worked with is not here anymore, so they're called an orphan owner. That's 3 different lists right there. So that is going to play into what my initial call is going to be like. So when you establish who these people are, because if your call is just simple, hey, Mrs. Jones, it's Steve over from Friendly Ford. Want to call to see if you're in the market. Dude, you ain't going to get anywhere. Like, what is that? You're not even doing anything. You got to be able to create some interest. So if I don't know who they are, how do I create interest on a phone call? So number one, the only way for me to create interest is to know who they are. And I got to find out what problem I solve for them. Okay? So once I can find out who they are, I can establish what problem. What problem do I solve for this person? Because let's check this out. Look, if it's somebody that we sold 2 years ago, look, the problem that I might be able to solve for them is that they've got an older vehicle. They probably like to drive some newer product. We got a newer option for them to get into. That is a different conversation than the customer who's coming in for a service who has an issue with their vehicle that they may not want to be dealing with. They'd rather just be in a better, newer vehicle. That's a different conversation versus somebody else that they did business with another salesperson. They don't know me. We don't have a relationship. It's probably a little bit of a cold call because, number one, they don't know my name. Right? So I got to call up and say, hey, this is Steve. I'm calling from Friendly Ford. The reason for my call is 3 years ago, you did business with our company. The salesperson you worked with, they've moved on, but I'm here to help service you. I want to take care of you. And I just wanted to reach out to find out what's the most important thing to you when purchasing a new vehicle. It's a different type of call here than it is when I'm calling a service customer. Now, same thing. I'm going to reach out, just give them my name. Hey, my name's Steve. I'm calling from Friendly Ford. Just giving you a call. I know you're coming in for service. We want to make sure we treat you with the best service possible. Our guys in the service department are going to take care of you, but I wanted to ask you a quick question. When will you be in the market for a brand new vehicle? Is it going to be this year or next year that you're looking? And really what I'm trying to do is just creep into my next question, because if they give me, maybe we still got another 2 years on our lease. Perfect. Now, the next time you're in the marketplace, what are you going to be looking for? Do you want to move up to a newer, better model of the same product? Are you looking to go with something bigger or smaller than what you currently drive? And I'm going to start funneling them into this different area of, dude, what's next? How do I get them into the future? This is going to be one of the most important parts about a script, is that I'm taking somebody from their present situation to the future. But if I don't know who they are, then I do not know what problem I solve for them. So, when it comes down to, the who here and what problem I solve, Grant talks a lot about the big claim. There we go. So big claim. Now, the way that I get this across when I'm calling these people up, look, I'm going to ask them a question just to, kind of get them in the spot that I'm at. Hey, you're coming in for service. I'm going to meet and greet you right when you get in here. Just wanted to find out next time you're in the market, what are you going to be looking for so I can contact you right away when we have it available. Now, to be sure I'm not wasting your time, tell me, okay, what are you going to be looking for the next time you're in the market? Is it something bigger or something smaller than what you currently drive? Okay, this is going to be something where I got to collect a little bit of data from them. Well, we're probably going to go with, we're really not sure yet, but we're probably going to go with something similar, probably something the same. Okay, now this is where I got to come in with the big claim. This is the big claim that's got to be the value add. Dude, why did I call them in the first place? I got to better their situation. This is where the big claim comes in. So I got to be able to hit this hard. It's a big claim. It's something monstrous, something that would get somebody to take where they're at right now from their present situation and say, boom, hey, you know what? I didn't even know that we could do that. Let's do this. Now, I know something very obvious in the automotive industry is, the up and show. We can move you up in a model and show you the same payments. And that's where, look, if that's your deal, that's a great one. Okay, that's an obvious one that you could definitely use. That's probably what your call looks like already, but you should really drop this in if that's what's important. Oh, excellent. Listen, we can move you up in a brand new model and actually show you how to keep the payments the same. While you're in here, I'm going to get you, and I need to set the expectations. The big claim was, I'm going to move you up in a brand new vehicle and I'm going to show you how to keep your payments the same. Now, this is the most obvious one. Right? So this isn't anything too creative. You're probably doing this right now. But I got to be able to lock in the question on this. Hey, listen, Mrs. Jones, I know when you come in, you're going to be looking at a newer vehicle. I know you're going to be getting your vehicle serviced. Are you going to be in the market for a newer one this year or next year? Yeah, maybe next year. Our lease is coming up. Perfect. I knew that. I just wanted to find out if you were wanting to do something sooner because I can move you up in model and actually show you how to keep your payments the same. Now, while you're here, I know you'll be in and out, so I want to get you 3 proposals to show you exactly how we can do that. Okay? Will you give me 10 or 15 minutes while you're here to show you exactly how we can do this? I just want to pull them back into the call. Oh, yeah, no, we wouldn't, yeah, maybe I'm going to be in and out. This is where they'll start, nice guying you, and this is where you got to go back in and say, hey, and this is where I got to get into the next parts. I got to get into my hard questions. So step number two is hard questions. You got to have these ready. If you don't have hard questions and you don't have the right questions available, you're not going to ask them. Very simple. If you don't have a list of questions, I got a whole list of questions that I keep right here on my desk all the time, And so number one, the easiest question is, hey, and then I just got to go into the magic of agreement with them and say, hey, I understand you're going to be in and out. My job's to get you the information. Let me ask you the question here real quick. Okay? In your next vehicle, what's the most important thing to you? Is it going to be the inside, the outside, the performance? What is it for you? And I got to move into harder questions. Hard questions is not pressure. Hard questions is something that is just a little bit harder into the deal that basically gets somebody to give me a real answer. Because I was kind of fluffy at the beginning where I was just asking, hey, you going to be in the market? I'm just trying to get them to respond so I can move in. Oh, perfect. If you are going to be in the market next year, I can put you into something brand new this year, keep your payments the same. Now listen, what would be the most important thing to you in your next purchase? I got to go in for this because again, if they don't know why they should do this, they will not be interested. That's what they'll tell you. Oh, okay, great. We're not interested. They'll nice guy you. They'll be nice about it too because they're your client. They're going to be, oh yeah, we love you guys. Always come by there. We love your free car washes. Thank you. You're great. Love the free coffee. Thank you. You're so great. And they're just going to nice guy you to death. And if you don't have these questions readily available, then you're going to fall back to that because it's easy just to be like, oh, okay, great, yeah, and then you're going to move on to the next call. You don't want to do this. You just want to move into, excellent. Listen, the next time you're in the market, what's going to be the most important thing for you? Is it going to be the performance? Is it going to be the look? Is it going to be the safety? Are you looking for something a little bit more economical? What is it for you that you're looking for? I got to give them some different options because remember, they weren't even thinking about this in the beginning. So I got to have these questions available. This is part of the perfect script. I got to have some questions. Once I get an answer from them, maybe they're saying, well, we like all the new safety features, and of course, we'll want to do something economical. I heard you guys are coming out with some electric vehicles. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. There are actually some brand new models that are coming out. Now listen, just because they said that doesn't mean they're locked in on that. You still got to keep your options open. This is where Grant talks a lot about in the presentation. You guys have got to offer different pieces of inventory. Okay, let me give you a statistic right here. 40% of customers come in on the wrong vehicle. Every time I ask a dealer that, I say, hey, listen, 40% of customers come in on the wrong vehicle. How much of that do you believe? And I get the same answer every time. Hey, it's actually probably more than that. I'm like, okay, good. Then why do you guys get so stuck on one product? Why do you get so hung up on one product if you think that the industry statistic, it's even worse than that? You're like, nah, not over here, man. It's about like 80% of the time they come in on the wrong product. Well, why do you get hung up on one vehicle? Why do you only show somebody one thing? This is where you got to go into this stuff, okay? So the number 2 question is I want to move into, yeah, we do have those available. Hey, let me ask you this. Why haven't you done this already? I'm going to be collecting data because, guys, you got to get the customer to talk on the phone. If you can't ask these questions on your script, on your call, and if you just dodge off the call and you just wait for them to show up, dude, they don't show up to anything. You never got them to actually start thinking about what was going on. I got to ask these hard questions because they put somebody in a position where they're really actually thinking about their situation. You know, now, like I start thinking about these. I'm asking myself, I'm like, dude, I've been driving the same car. I would have got out of my car probably over a year ago, and I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, dude, I should have done that a year ago. I've been wanting to do it. You know, and so I want you to really start asking these questions after you establish your big claim, how you can solve a big problem for them. And then you got to move into questions like, hey, excellent. What's the most important thing to you? Great. Love that. We've got those. Hey, why haven't you done this already? And just listen to what they have to say. Maybe they're going to tell you stuff that maybe they weren't going to tell you because they weren't thinking about it. They might have been like, well, you know, I mean, we didn't even know that we could turn our lease in early and switch out. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, I thought everybody knew that, but they didn't know that. Oh, this is great because now you got an opportunity to solve a problem for somebody who wants to move up and out of the product they're in. You get a car deal. You get to help somebody out. The only way to continue servicing somebody is to repeatedly sell them new product. If you don't, look, what happens? Dude, somebody else sells them, you know? And so whether it's somebody else that's not even in the car business, they might spend their money. They might say, hey, you know what? I'm going to hang on to the vehicle. I'm going to get a jet ski. You know, hey, we're going to do a boat this year. We're going to do a pontoon. We're going to do an RV. You know, oh, it's probably that. And the only problem is that they would have been in that new vehicle that they drive every single day that they actually wanted, but they didn't have a salesperson reach out to them. And that's probably the number one reason why people don't do new deals is because nobody asked them in the first place. So let's get down to a couple other questions right here. So some of the other hard questions is, I always like to say, you know, hey, when we ask them about their payments, we always ask them, hey, how did you get your payments so low? That's one of Grant Cardone's stable questions. You know, he's like, hey, well, what are you paying now? You know, if somebody's like, well, we want to keep our payments the same. Excellent. What are you paying now? Well, we pay $500 a month. That's awesome, man. How'd you get your payments so low? You know, is a great question to basically find out how they bought their last vehicle, because they're actually going to drop into this and start saying, well, we put a little bit of money down. You know, this is where they start bragging about how good of a deal they got. Yeah, you know, we did really good. You guys treated us really well over there. You know, we put a couple down, you know, and this is where they'll start bragging about the deal they got. They'll start telling you exactly the way they did the deal. And you need to collect that information and know that, dude, they're going to do the deal exactly the same way. They're going to do this next deal exactly the same way that they probably did the last one. And if they don't, for the small percentage of people that don't continue to do the same things the same way, they're probably going to do it almost the opposite because of a bad experience that they had. So people continue just to keep buying and buying the same way. Like my parents, like my dad, he buys cars where it's, you know, financially doesn't make sense, but whatever, it's what he does. He puts the most money down possible. I mean, I'm talking 50, 60%. Like he wants to chuck as much money at it as possible so that way he can get a low payment, because he actually keeps the vehicles for like 20 years. He's got 5 trucks at his house right now. I can't even believe they still exist. I was just there. It's unbelievable. Okay, me, I don't buy like that. Okay, I lease cars. I want to get in and out of them as quick as possible. I want something quick, fast, something that looks good. I want to be in and out of it. I want zero obligation. I don't mind putting a big down payment down, if they service it the right way. If they basically deliver the car to me, if they show up, if they handle all my oil, dude, if I have to do absolutely nothing, then dude, I will pay you whatever you need because I value that. That's how I buy things. But if you don't know how I buy, you're going to try to treat me like somebody else. You're going to treat me like somebody else who, maybe that's how you buy. Maybe you sell the way you buy. That would be an issue for you because you're missing all the other people that don't buy that way. You got to find out how people do things. So asking them the hard questions really comes down to you understanding how they're going to do it again the next time. Now, let's go over some other questions. Number one, now what I might end up doing is I might end up asking them, hey, listen, if you did move up into a different product and a better product, what problems could I solve for you in your newer model? Maybe they don't know, but I do want to ask that so I can find out what they may be thinking about, because this is where they may drop into, well, I wanted a sunroof on my last car and we didn't end up getting it. And man, I gotta have it in my next car. That's a problem. You need to write that information down. If you're doing phone sales, you need a legal pad right next to you where you're taking notes on every single caller. You gotta be digging into this so you can find out, hey, what's next? What problems can I solve for them? Because people will pay money when problems solved. This is what Grant Cardone talks about on Cardone On Demand. He says, when value exceeds price, okay, people will buy. If the value doesn't exceed the price and they're grinding you out on price, I can assure you that you're the problem. It's not the vehicle. It's not that they can get a better deal down the street. The problem is you. They don't see the value in spending the extra money for you because the extra money is not for the vehicle. They can go grind anybody else out for that. They would pay extra money for the extra service, the extra value. People do it every single day. I can name a million examples. So what I want you to understand is that, look, you got to get into these certain things, and if you don't, you're not going to find out how this person operates, and that's why the questions work so well. Now, look, if you're sitting here and you're thinking about, my sales team needs this training, and I might be going too fast for you, dude, I'll tell you what, man, I didn't know this stuff. I had to learn this information. I had to dig in. I had to study and watch training every single day. And I had to really get this built in so that way it was a muscle. That way when I was on the phones with people, I could really understand them. Now, if you guys want us to coach your team, we have the Automotive Coaching Program. Now, we do a special deal for our followers that show up here every Friday. And I do want to give you guys some pricing on that. And we'll drop this screen up. If you guys want to pull the pricing up, we'll drop up. We got two options. Okay, we do daily training with Grant Cardone On Demand, and your team will actually be able to get either 2 coaching calls per month or 4 coaching calls per month. You choose the frequency. So if you want us on the calls with you 2 times a month, really working with your people, digging in, making sure they're doing the training, making sure they're understanding the information, we will do that. This is our automotive expert trainers. They're on the call. These guys are on the phones. They're in dealerships every single day, and they will be the ones to train your people. If you want to showing up every single week, do our weekly calls, man. It's $19.95 per month. We'll drop in. We'll do a call with you via video, and it's a 1-hour coaching call where I can sit down with you guys, and I can just go over these different scripts. We can start looking at what questions your people are asking. We can listen to calls. What calls are they missing? What problems are they running into? Because having a script is one thing, but what happens when the customer says they're not interested? You've got to be able to shift and be able to keep working your way down the script. Okay, a script is like a GPS. Okay, a script is going to tell you where you start and where you finish. Just like in a GPS, look, just because you put where you're currently located and the destination that you're going to doesn't mean you're not going to run into red lights, traffic, guys riding bicycles across the street, ducks crossing the street. Look, that stuff's going to happen, man. So if you don't know what to do, you got to be coached on it. And without coaching, you're going to have limited results. So a great script only goes so far. So you could read this, you could train on it, you could drill on it. But what happens is there's multiple parts to the call. Today we're talking about how to build the right script. So let's get into some of the other questions that we have. Another question that I want to find out with is, hey, who else in your house is going to make a decision on this? I want to ask for all the decision makers. Why? Well, because I can't close a deal if I don't have all the decision makers. I gotta ask these questions. It's super, super important that I find out who the decision makers are, because you might have the check signer, but the decision maker might be different. I'll tell you, in my household, dude, I'm writing the checks. My fiance, guess what? She's making the decision. Whatever she wants, that's what she gets. Right on. You just send me. I don't even want to go down there. You just send me the paperwork. Okay, it's for her. It's her deal. It's what she wants. Okay, why would I turn her down? I would not. I would just tell her to get what you want. Okay, so that's how we roll. Now, other families may roll a little bit different. That's why you got to ask those questions before about how they do this, and then I got to find out, hey, so Mrs. Jones, hey, who else in your household is going to be an influencer on the decision? I got to find out, hey, who else gets involved in making these decisions? You know, you should know, but you don't is the reality. So if you don't ask, you can't get to the questions. Again, I'm finding out how they buy things. So this is where you may hear a couple different things. You may end up hearing to say, well, no, if I like it, I'll get it. You know, which is probably, this is what, you know, my lady would say. Hey, if I like it, we get it. That's what she would say. That's how we roll. But maybe they've got an agreement where they work everything out. They talk everything out. They don't make a move without each other. You would want to know that's how they roll, because you're going to want to collect some data from Mrs. Jones about things that are important to Mr. Jones. You know, and so this is where it's really important for you to ask the right questions. These are harder questions. People think that they're like being nosy or so. I don't want to ask that question. Dude, if you don't want to ask that question, you're going to have a hard time on this planet doing well, because you're not solving problems for people. This is all about solving problems. We know that we can take a customer, we can put them into a better situation, we can move them up. The deals have never been better than they are right now. So if you know all these things, how have you not made it your duty and obligation to really help people by mastering this information, knowing that, dude, if I can get the communication down right, if I can just get this call right, I'll actually be able to help somebody and really probably even get them to pay more money than I would somebody who was like calling up trying to grind me out because they can't get a good service from somebody. You know, a great service would be somebody that calls you and says, hey, I can get you into a better deal. Really? What do you mean by that? You know, like that would be a great service for me if somebody could say, hey, you're doing this, I could really show you a better way to do it. I would love that. Why would I not love that? I would want to pay somebody for that. That would be good news for me. So you got to find out how they do things. Let's see. Also, if they start talking about, hey, you know what? We're probably not going to do anything this year. I might just start moving into, hey, no problem, you don't have to do anything this year. Let me ask you, what would be the worst thing if you flipped into it this year, got a better deal, you got a better model, and maybe even save you a couple $1,000 on the overall purchase? You know, look, hard questions. Asking again, you know, buyer insistence. You can't help anybody until you close them. So if you duck out on the call because you're thinking, you know what? I asked, they said no, I don't want to ask again. You're not going to make it here. You're not going to make it on this planet if you're not being persistent. Why? Because these people are just like you. There's uncertainties everywhere. There's uncertainties all over the place. Everybody's uncertain all the time about different things because they don't know everything, right? Okay, you make quick decisions on things that you know about, but you make slower decisions when you don't. Well, dude, they're not selling cars every single day. They're not in your business every single day. They don't know the ins and outs, so they're not really certain. That's why they say things like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do anything right now. You know, it's only because they don't know about a better deal that they could get. So you got to get into these questions. Another question I like to do. So, you know, here's another great thing, and I said this earlier, but I want to make I want to make sure that you guys get this. Put people into the future. Okay, it's not all about past. Okay, it's actually mostly about the future. If you want to get somebody to move, you got to put them into the future. So how do you do that? How do you put somebody into the future? Now you're like, dude, what's this guy even talking about? I would put somebody into the future. Man, listen, they're thinking about their current situation right now. Okay, they're thinking about that. You got to get them to think about what the future looks like. And you got to get them to start telling you about what types of problems you could solve for them if you did something. And that's part of the question. So if you guys are in Cardone On Demand, you've seen this. In Cardone On Demand, and this is one of the negotiating strategies that we talk about. This is one of the best negotiating strategies I've ever used. I use it on almost every single deal. If you guys have been on shows with me before, you know that I like this. It's called the Back to the Future close. Okay, Grant came up with, I've seen him do this on some of the craziest deals, and it just works. It just works. It's a great close, and the way it goes is simply, hey, listen, you don't have to do anything right now, but if you did, let's just take you out. Let's take you out 90 days after you made this decision. What type of problems could I have solved for you if you did this with us? And I'm going to get them to move into the future and think about, well, you know, it would be like it'd be cool to have a newer vehicle. I start getting them to think about what their situation looks like in the future. This is one of the most easiest ways. People are moving to the future whether they like it or not. That's just what's happening. It's what's going on. So I need to get them to the future to really think about what it could be like if they made the decision. And then I could even pull back. Well, look, if we don't do this, your situation stays the same. So I know that you're going to be making a decision today. I know you said you're not making a decision, but look, can I share with you that you are making a decision? You're either making a decision to continue with what you have, or we could shift you into this new opportunity, this new deal that could be better, and it solves this problem, and this problem. I'm just going to rattle off the 3 things that they just told me, you know, or whatever they gave me. The information, they're like, yeah, you know, it'd be great. You know, we could use a better system. We could use a little bit more room. I know there's the new safety features on that with the better backup camera that's got the 360 camera, and that would be great. It'd keep me from dinging up my wheels. You know, look, I'm gonna just hammer that in to say, listen, you're making a decision either way. You're either staying with what you have, or we can put you here that would solve this problem, and this problem. And I got to get them to that place, because if I don't, then they're just going to say, you know what, we're going to wait. So these are some of the things. You guys got to get into these hard questions. Let's see here. If you guys have any concerns, any questions, you guys can call me up, 305-865-8668, 305-865-8668. That's the number. You guys want to call me up, any deals you have, I'll do them. But let's get into number 3. Okay, so number 3, one of the most important parts of the perfect script, we're going to get into 2 different things here, and I'm going to get into number 3. And I want you guys to really see this. Okay, it's called the appointment lockdown. Now, this one's important either on the inbound, the outbound. Remember, we're on a call script right now. So I'm actually selling somebody on time. You know, I do want to close a deal, but I don't know if I can close a deal over the phone call. You know, I really just reached out to somebody. They didn't know I was going to call them. So here I am. I'm on the phone. I get a couple minutes with them on the call. I want to pitch them our deal. I want to show the big claim. I want to get them sold on why they should do this now. And then I got to lock them down on an appointment, or else we don't ever get a deal, right? So the rest of the script doesn't actually make sense if I don't get to this point where I'm saying, hey, listen, when you come in here, or, hey, when can you be here, this afternoon or tonight? And maybe they're saying, oh, no, I can't make it by there. Okay, I want you to be able to, you need to be able to move to this right now, probably more than ever. Grant Cardone's been talking about this for 30 years, but if you haven't figured this out by now, look, take it to them. Take it to them. I will tell you from personal experience, I know that I overpaid for my last car on the down payment, and I was happy with it because they were delivering me the car. I knew they were going to make money on the deal. I knew that I could have got a better deal. Look, it wasn't about that for me. I wanted them to service me. I knew that if I would actually make this salesperson's day, that they would have over-serviced me, and they did. It was great. I knew exactly what I was doing on it. I wanted that to happen. They brought it to me. They handled it. They did all the delivery. It showed up to my house. They got out of the car. It's like literally, it's like curbside service, man. I loved that. That was great for me. But if you don't lock it down, the appointment, you never get a deal. So you got to do this. Number 1, how soon can you be here, this afternoon or tonight? You always want to make a same day appointment. If it's 11 o'clock at night, and you're on the phone and you're trying to lock down a point. Hey, how quick can you be here this afternoon or tonight? What? Yeah, hey, I want to get that. You need to show urgency. The reason why, if you're not urgent, they will not be. You got to remember the nature of this whole thing is that, look, they weren't interested because if they were, they would have called you. You're creating the interest. You're creating it. So without the urgency, you don't create that move, right? Because if you add time to a deal, it's just going to go away because other things are going to come up. Hey, how quick can you be here this afternoon or tonight? And I'm going to move into, I can't be here. Hey, no problem. Where can I find you? Can I meet you at your office? Can I bring it to your home? Can I show this to you? I could bring you 2 models today. I could have you test drive 2 of them this afternoon. What would work for you? And I'm going to move into options. I want to move into this because if I do not get an appointment, step number 3, the appointment lockdown, then I'm never really going to get an opportunity. Now, this is where I have seen salespeople fail miserably. And it's unbelievable. I mean, even on the call-ins, we just got a car for my fiance. We got a car for her, and we called up one of the dealers. We called around. She wanted this certain type of vehicle. She called around. She found it. We talked to the sales guy. He was good. He was nice. Whatever. But dude, he didn't lock it down. We were just like, hey, can we come by there this afternoon? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll be in. Yeah, just, come in and ask for me, Well, he didn't lock down anything. He didn't even, I barely even remembered his name. The only reason I picked up on his name was because I'm a true sales professional and I was paying attention to every word he was saying, right? So I'm just like listening to what was going on. So what would happen was, dude, we showed up 2 hours after we told him we were going to be there. We didn't get a phone call. We didn't get a text message. We didn't get a video. Terrible, but whatever. That's why we got him some training, actually. So this is where you guys have got to really understand, look, you got to lock this down. You got to get a time. You got to get this down so that way the expectation is set that somebody is going to show up on time and you're ready to service them so that way they can buy. Now, if I can say, hey, can you be here this afternoon or tonight? And they say, yeah, we could be there this afternoon. Excellent. Are you better for 3 or 4 o'clock? I would just want to move into different options to lock this down. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Well, if you were sure and I was prepared, what time would you be here? Would it be 3 or 4 o'clock? Yeah, I could probably be there around 3. Perfect. I'm going to be there 3 o'clock. Hey, my name's Steve. Hey, can you write this down? Grab a pencil. Grab a pen. It's STEVE. Hey, what's your text number? I'm going to text you my card number in a picture of myself so that way you can actually see. I'll send a picture, professional photo, maybe me in front of the car. And so that's why I want to send this out. Look, and then I'm going to follow up the whole way there. So when I get off this call, I'm not going to stop my follow-up and I'm not going to sit there and wait patiently like, oh, I got an appointment today, boss. Dude, I'm going to send them multiple different things while they're on their way over here, okay? Because I don't want them to I don't need some other piece of information coming into them like, now maybe they call a friend and they're like, hey, now's not the right time to buy. Things are going to be better. The new 2021 models are coming out. Why would you do anything right now? Dude, I don't need any data from other people that don't know what's going on, inflicting and causing an issue for the deal that I'm about ready to help somebody out on. I don't want that. I want to be the person that's controlling the cycle. So I can do that by communicating with them. Lock the appointment down. Hey, any reason at 3 o'clock you would not be able to show up? I'm going to be here. I'm going to actually be with this. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have you do a test drive. I need to set this expectation hard. When you get here, I'm going to have the keys ready. The AC is going to be on. Okay, this thing's going to be hot and fresh. You're going to be able to smell the new car when you roll up. Okay, look for me. My name's Steve. I got a blue suit on. I got a blue tie on. Okay, my hair's slicked back. Okay, I got a little bit of scruffy on today because that's the look I'm going with. I need to get them ready to come here and know who and what I am. Know who they're talking to. Know that they're dealing with a professional. That's the appointment lockdown. Okay, the question, the magic question there is, hey, for any reason, would you not be able to make it at 3 o'clock? So I got to do this, okay? Now, the other thing is, and we're going to get to the last thing before we go here, but look, if I have lost you today, and you're thinking, dude, there was a lot of, 1 hour, this guy packed this thing full of information. Look, we're going to be doing this on August 15th. We're going to be running a live webinar. August 15th, it's called the Phone Skills and Communication Webinar. Jeff Bounds and myself are going to be doing this call. If you guys go to grantcardone.com/phones, we're going to be breaking down everything, handwriting scripts for people. We're going to be talking about service, sales, management, and how to drill and role play this every single day. There's definitely some do's and don'ts on role play. You do not want to miss this. So if you guys want to register for this today, go to grantcardone.com/phones. Get in early because we're going to be giving you guys some extras that's going to help you out with the phones. Now, if you guys show up to this meeting, we're going to teach you everything. You're going to walk away with the script. You're going to have, we're going to give you a script that you're going to walk away with. So we're going to work it out with you on that call. We're actually going to take some live callers. We're going to do some role play. And, if you guys want to challenge me, you guys want to send me your customers' numbers, you guys want me to cold call your customers, I'm going to do it. Okay? Because why? I know exactly what I'm doing on the call. Now, I want to get into this last piece right here. When you get done with the lockdown, now I just want to recap what we've talked about. Number one, you got to establish who they are so that way you can know, and I'm going to call the same people on that list, right? Like I'm not going to call different people one after the other, one after the other. Dude, I'm going to call the same people, one list. I'm going to work that list, and I'm going to reach out to them and knowing what problem I solve for them. Okay, that's where the big claim comes from. I won't have a big claim if I don't know who they are and what problem I solve for them. People only do things because they solve a problem or they love it, It's rare that you have something that they just love. That'd probably be like maybe you work at like a Chevy store, and you got the brand new Corvettes coming in and you've got that buyer that just loves Corvettes and they always buy the brand new one. Well, look, that would be that situation. If it's not that situation, it's probably because it solves a problem for them. Performance is good. It's efficient. The safety's there. Whatever their interest is. If you don't know that about these people, you got to really put yourself in that situation to know who they are and what problem you solve. Now, we talked about step number 2, having a list of hard questions. Number 1, what's the most important thing to you? Number 2, who all needs to be in this to make a decision? Number 3, hey, why haven't you guys done this in the past? Number 4 question we talked about was, hey, if we did this and it's all, what problem will we solve for you about 90 days after you get it? I mean, where do you see this actually being a benefit to you? I'm going to ask them that question, so let them kind of sell themselves on it. Then we got to the appointment lockdown. We talked about the appointment lockdown. We talked about grinding into the appointment to say, hey, listen, you got to see this today. You got to see this today. If you can't do it today, let's catch you tomorrow. When works best tomorrow? If you can't make it here, I want to bring it to you. You got to see this now. If you don't, this opportunity may not last for you because this is an incredible time right now. When can you do it? Oh, good, tomorrow. Morning or afternoon. I start going in for the lockdown. Morning or afternoon. 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Excellent. Good. We got you at 3 o'clock. For any reason other than a zombie apocalypse, would you not be able to make that appointment at 3 o'clock? I'm going to move in on this thing to really let them know that, hey, I'm going to be there ready to service you. So let's just say they're like, no, I got it, man. Hey, listen, that's yeah, love that. But listen, I'm going to be there at 3 o'clock. No reason I wouldn't make it. I would definitely be there. And now we get to the secret step number 4. I know that we told you we were only going to give you 3. I'm going to give you another one. Number 4 is keep selling the deal. Now, this is where I see a lot of people, even they get a good call, they get a good appointment, and then they get the customer, they're like, oh yeah, customer's going to be here at 3 o'clock, and then they just get off the call. Why? Why would you do that? If the whole reason to make the call was to make a sale in the first place, well, why would you stop there when you already got this agreement from them? They're already talking. You want to go as far as you possibly can. So what I like to do here is I like to say, hey, look, to save us some time when you show up tomorrow at 3 o'clock, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get you a little bit of information right now. Now, we're going to have a couple models ready for you. Okay, now listen. We're going to be showing you a brand new vehicle. We're going to be able to move you up in model, keep your payments the same. But let me ask you a quick question. Would you consider if we could actually lower the payments, maybe even save you a couple $1,000s on a purchase, would you consider a certified pre-owned? You know, even when I know that this goes back to this, guys. It goes back to, look, 40% of the customers come in on the wrong product. Look, when you call them, they still might be on the wrong product. They don't know yet. I gotta get them to shop. People shop today. So I gotta keep selling this. I need to still use the rules that Grant talks about in the presentation, and I gotta keep selling it. Okay, so secret number 4 basically comes down to, hey, how do I treat them from the appointment set till they get here to the appointment? I'm gonna sell them the entire way, okay? I'm gonna try to do some of this over the phone, and what I might even end up doing is I might be saying, hey, are you in front of a computer? Hey, thanks a lot. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. I'm gonna be there. Thanks for locking it down with us. Now, let me do this. While I've got you on the call, I can save you about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes when you come in. Are you in front of your computer? Yeah, I am. Okay, good. I'm sending you some information right now. What's your email? And I'm gonna connect their email, and I'm gonna start sending them a couple different options. And I just gotta send them data, information. This could be screenshots. This could be pictures of the dealership. This could be pictures of me. This could be directions. This could be new features. This could be an article that just got put out about that new vehicle. I gotta get them some extra information because look, I gotta move the ball down the field. If I don't, I'm just giving up and I'm just hoping. Here I am back. Great, I'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait till you show up. Dude, if you sell like that, you're gonna be missing opportunities all over the place. And you gotta make sure that, look, in this situation, that you keep reinforcing the reasons why they should be doing this. And if you don't, then look, anything and everything is gonna happen between the appointment set and the time they get here. So I need to have a couple different follow-ups. Number one, if I can get them in front of a computer, email them something, maybe even get them on my website, that would be ideal, and have them kind of shop some inventory there. I want to do that with them because I don't want them to get there and have this feeling of, you know what, well, this is really the first thing we looked at and we didn't really expect the call. So, I think we do want to shop around. We want to make sure we're getting, dude, I don't want to do that. I just want to handle all that for them. I know that they're probably going to shop. That's how they buy things. They go on Netflix, they shop movies. They go on Amazon, they shop products. They go to the grocery store, they shop the produce. I'm standing at the meat counter. I'm looking at the different meats. There's 45 different pieces of a selection of meat there, man. Which one do I want? I'm shopping it. Dude, I shop everywhere I go. So if that's how people buy today, why don't I just be the one that shops with them and have them shop my inventory? And I just start loading them up. Check this out. We just got this new model and here's this one product. Look, I could save you $3 or $4 grand. Hey, I know you love white. I know you always buy white. I know white's your color, but check this out. Dude, we just got a hot one in red. And in fact, I think I got another one coming in yellow. Would you even consider it? Even if it was more money. I'm going to roll into this deal hard because I know that I got to offer them inventory. This is where the pros take it to the next level. If you're not doing this right now, then you're missing opportunity. Now, maybe you get off the phone right here. That's fine. You did a 5 or 6, 7, 8 minute phone call. Totally fine that your call is set up. You locked in the appointment. You did a great job because 10 minutes ago, guess what? They weren't even in the market for a new vehicle. Now we got them showing up. They're interested. They've got a new opportunity. Check this out. With that script, you've got to continue the follow-up before the actual appointment. The follow-up before the appointment is super, super important. What do I want to do? I want to use text and virtual video. Probably one of the first things I'm going to do when I get off the call. If you guys are familiar with Cardone On Demand and you guys go into your follow-up tool, what does the follow-up tool say? On day 0 follow-up, Grant talks about, look, bust out your phone, shoot him a quick video, and send him a video. Hey, this is Steve. I'm over here at Friendly Ford. It was awesome to meet you. I can't wait to show up. Look, here's me. Here's our dealership. Okay, you remember it. I just wanted to put a face to the name. I cannot wait to see you when you're here tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Talk to you then. Boom. And I'm out there. Now, I've got all this time between now and 3 o'clock tomorrow. What do I send them? Okay, I just followed up with them one time. Now what I might end up doing is I might start dropping in, what about some testimonial videos? And I got videos in my phone where I just save all of the videos that my clients have. I even put all my, I got one video that I created. You just use the video editing device on your phone. This is very simple, guys. Very simple. I put together 5 different testimonial videos of clients who shared with me, hey, dude, this is what it's like to work with Steve, man. Steve's awesome. If you're not doing business with him now, you should be. He services his clients better than anybody. I had 5 people shoot me a video like that, clients that are mine that are just crushing it, and I put it together. So I send a little video link out that it says, here's what it looks like to do business with Steve Spray. So I'm following up with them. I'm getting them sold on me. I don't need to worry about bad reviews. Dude, I create my own reviews. My reviews are me personally. Okay, people, you go to a restaurant, maybe you check and see how they got bad reviews, but if you got that waitress or that waiter, like somebody that just like handles you and it's like perfect and it's so good and like, dude, you just can't wait to tip them because like, dude, you feel like, dude, I need to give them an extra tip. I need to hit them with like 40%. Man, they were throwing down on this thing. They deserve it. That doesn't mean that, dude, they provided their own service that showed a great review, man. It's like you don't need to worry about bad stuff, man. Create your own. Be of great service. That is going to be the way that you sell people. So keep that in play. Now, look, guys, I do want to talk about this one more time. If you guys have not signed up for the phone sales webinar, the communication webinar that we're doing for August 15th, I want to put this back up on the screen so you guys can see it. It's going to be grantcardone.com/phones. That's where you want to go. You want to sign up. It's $49. Jeff Bounds and myself are going to be walking you through every single thing you need to know to master communication over the phones. And if you're doing virtual calls with people right now, I'm going to be teaching you the best tricks and strategies on how to sell over video conference. So if you use any of those different types of tools, there's thousands of them out there. The Zooms, the GoToMeetings, the video conferences, the Google Plus, whatever system you're using. I will show you how to get and maintain attention over a video conference sales process. Because if it's new for you, if you're actually doing this right now and you were used to actually dealing with customers who walked into your business, they showed up on your lot, they were calling your store, and now you're selling them over video, this might be a new territory for you. I can assure you that there's a lot of opportunity for you to get better at this. And we're going to be sharing that. So guys, look, today we talked about number 1, for the perfect script, know who you're calling. Get the big claim that solves a problem for them. Number 2, have a list of the hard questions. Things that could put them in the mindset that they're going to buy with you and why they haven't done this already. Number 3, lock the appointment down. Okay, lock it down. Know how to do the lock close. Know how to make sure that somebody's showing up at the right time, ready to buy. And number 4, keep selling the deal. Keep following up until they get there so that way you can move the ball down the field. So guys, thank you so much for showing up. This is the 10X Automotive Weekly. My name is Steve Spray, and we're going to see you guys back here next Friday on the 10X Automotive Weekly.
Hey, I'm Jeff Bounds, and I'm the head of retail with Grant Cardone Enterprises.
And my name's Steve Spray, Director of Sales.
And we got an important message for you guys today. We're having an emergency webinar August 15th on how to become a master at phone skills and communication. As you see behind us here, this is the house that Grant Cardone built purely by leveraging the phone. Follow me. So we want to give you guys a little sneak peek here inside of Cardone Enterprises and let you see how important the phone is to our organization. So here's a sneak peek inside 10X headquarters here. And what you see behind us, the phone is not just for sales. This is our customer service operation here at Cardone Enterprises. And every single day, our business is leveraged by being a master on the phone. So take a walk.
So guys, in here we have over 20 people on the phones making sales. They're doing cold calls, warm calls. We're doing calls that we're getting in front of the hardest people to sell in the world.
If I could put an extra $1 million into your business this year, what would that do for you guys? Oh, he hung up.
Let me show you exactly what our sales team's doing right now. They're on the phones, they're working deals. We're gonna teach you exactly how we set up a call. This is my guy, Jared, right here. He's working with a guy right now. He's got a coach next to him. We're gonna teach you every single thing that you need to do, say, how to pitch via a video presentation. If your sales has changed and now you've got to sell more online, if you got to sell through virtual video, that is going to be something that is new to you, and we're going to teach you the best practices and how to sell millions of dollars through the phones.
And then of course you got Grant Cardone every day that's coming to you from this smartphone in about 8 to 10 minutes to help your people with the hardest parts of their job. whether it's closing deals, whether it's following up, whether it's handling objections. Does that make sense?
And we want to invite you to join us on August 15th for a live webinar on phone skills and communication. As you see behind us here, this is 10X headquarters. This is the classroom that we have here. And we were going to have an event here in August on phone skills and communication mastery. But obviously with everything going on right now in the world, we wanted to make sure that there was no question that we can get this information to you, because I think you would agree over the past 3 or 4 months, the whole world has had to pivot through COVID-19. And I got to tell you right now, more than ever, phone skills mastery and knowing how to communicate with your customers is essential to being able to move forward into 2020 and into 2021 and being able to maximize your sales. So look, I invite you to join us August 15th at noon. We're going to be dropping so much value, so much knowledge to you in this webinar. I promise you it'll be one thing you don't want to miss. Join us then.